If your business only sells one thing, it's probably not going to scale.
That's the attitude. You can sell anything. Sell me this fucking pen right here. You can sell anything, sell that. Go ahead.
Now, when you're starting out, one offer is enough. You can get to $10, $20, potentially even $50,000 a month with one main product or service. The only problem is now you've built a system where every dollar depends on you finding new customers. You have no way to increase the value of people that are already buying from you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to build out additional offers around the things that you already sell so you can collect tons of revenue without relying on new customer acquisition. If you guys want more clients, more sales, and marketing that actually works, you should subscribe because that's what all my videos are built to help you do. So the first thing we need to talk about is how to actually scale a business, right? So there's only two ways to grow any kind of business. You either get more customers or you make more money per customer. Now, the first one is what most people focus on. That's very natural. More content, more ads, more outreach, more traffic to the website, and that always works. But the second one is where things actually compound. Instead of you chasing new customers, all you're doing is increasing the value of the people who already know, like, and trust you. If you think about it from a numbers perspective, this is just a lifetime value to customer acquisition cost game of sorts. If it costs you $100 to get a new customer, and you only ever make $150 from them, it's pretty hard to grow a very large business. But if you make offers that allow you to make $500, $1,000 or more from the same customer over time, the economics of that business completely change, right? Now you can spend more to acquire the same type of customer, you can scale faster, and you can still be profitable. You just need a consistent way to generate customers, whether that's organic content, paid ads, outbound, preferably all of them, but you also need an offer structure that allows you to capture more value from those customers over time. Now we can talk about what offer diversification is. So like we just talked about, a lot of businesses are going to hit a revenue plateau, not because their marketing has randomly stopped working, although that will happen in the life cycle of any business, but because the offer is way too simple. They probably have one service, one product at one price point, and that's going to create a revenue ceiling. They've got no way to monetize all the different types of people who are interested in their products and services. So what's going to happen to these companies is that they constantly restart the process of get customer, close sale, repeat, instead of getting a customer, maximizing the value of said customer, ascending them through a value ladder of new and more expensive offers, retaining them with, again, more offers and more incentives, and then expanding to other kinds of offers, right? So when I say diversification, I don't mean making a bunch of random products. I mean building multiple ways for the same person to buy from you. So those offers are going to differ across a few dimensions. So different price points, so low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, levels of involvement, so do it yourself, done with you, done for you, and timing. So front end offers, back end retention, reactivation, etc. Because not all of your leads are the same. Some of your customers are probably going to want to figure it out themselves. Some of them want guidance and some want it handled for them completely. And some people might have $50, some might have $500, and some might have $5,000. If you only have one offer, you're only capturing one slice of your ideal customers. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to improve your offer stack for all of the major kinds of businesses. Now, this video is going to be timestamped so you can find your business's niche just by scrolling through the timeline. So starting off, we're going to talk about agencies. So let's say you run a marketing agency or any kind of agency for that matter. Most agencies are going to start out with something like we build websites, we run ads, we do SEO, we do IT. And that's usually a mid to high ticket service. There's a lot of missed opportunity though. So for example, you could have a low ticket audit for people not ready for the full service, a do-it-yourself resource or template pack for some kind of early stage startup. You could have a done with you consulting offer for people who want guidance but not full service. You could have your core done for you service, a retainer or ongoing optimization plan, and then a premium tier for your higher ticket clients, right? So now instead of one thing or one offer, you have an ecosystem of offers. Someone who's not ready for your $5,000 a month, regular service that you've been offering for years might enter your ecosystem at $100 by buying your course and then pay $1,000 for consulting and then eventually become a full service client. Now, this offer stacking methodology isn't just for online businesses. In fact, it works really well for local businesses because your repeat customer potential is much higher. So let's say you run a restaurant. Most restaurants are going to think in terms of one transaction, right? So someone comes in, they eat, and then they leave. But you can expand that into a much bigger ecosystem of things to sell to the customer, right? So you can have different entry points, so lunch specials, limited time promos to get more people to come in general. You can have AOV increases, that just means average order value. So add-ons and upsells like meal combos and premium sides. You can have different kinds of bundles, so fixed price menus or family style packages. You can have loyalty programs for retention, email and SMS offers, birthday rewards, monthly recurring revenue style offers, so some kind of VIP dining club if you're a higher end restaurant with monthly perks, priority reservations, exclusive items. You can also have events, so tasting nights, chef's table experiences, private events, etc. Now, instead of having a bunch of $25 to $40 one-time visits, your customers are coming back and spending more per visit and then engaging with higher ticket experiences. And let's take a totally different example. Let's say you run an HVAC company. Most of these companies are relying on one-off jobs, repairs, installs, or emergency calls, but you can build a much deeper offer stack, right? So your entry point could be low-cost inspections or diagnostic fees, and your core service, of course, is repairs and installations. Your upsells could be air quality add-ons, filters, smart technology, thermostats. For retention, you could have annual maintenance plans, with seasonal tune-ups. Your subscriptions could be, service agreements with priority scheduling and some kind of discount. You could also have a premium tier, with whole home efficiency upgrades or, system optimization packages. So instead of all your customers being worth, $300 to $5,000 for one job, they become multi-year customers with recurring revenue, upgrades, and referrals. Moving on, e-commerce businesses have a huge advantage in this realm, but most of them are not using it at all. So most stores are going to rely on, of course, one-time purchases, but you can expand that into low-ticket entry products that acquire a bunch of new customers, bundles to increase average order value, like we talked about before, upsells and add-ons during checkout, complementary products post-purchase, subscriptions and replenishment offers via SMS or email, and then exclusive drops or premium versions. So let's take a really simple example. So let's say you start a dog accessory company. So at the beginning, you're selling, some kind of $25 collar, right? And that works to get you traction, get a bunch of initial customers, but then you expand that. So you add matching leashes and harnesses, bundle sets with collars, leashes, and tags, premium versions, leather, custom engraving, adding more accessories, so ID tags, lights, travel gear. Then you could also introduce a subscription, as monthly treats, replacements, accessories, etc. So now instead of that previous one-time $25 customer, you have a customer who first spends $25, then $75, then $100, and etc. over time. Now for info products and coaching, this is where offer diversification is probably the most obvious. So a lot of people are going to start with one course or one program, but you should be structuring this in layers. So for example, you have your free content on, let's say, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and that builds your audience. Then you have a low ticket product. This could be a $10 ebook, and that converts your casual viewers. Then you have your core course, and this is do it yourself. So the user has to do all of the work and they don't have any assistance. Then you have a done with you program where you offer them a little bit of support at a higher price. Then your coaching and mastermind offers. Then your in-person events or week-long intensives. And then of course, we're ending with our high ticket done for you or advisory offers. So now you stop trying to force all of your buyers immediately into a $2,000 program, let's say that would be right here, and you're letting them move up within your offer ecosystem as they're comfortable. And then as they get results, they trust you more and more. And now for the last example, we're going to talk about software companies. So building upon all the things we've learned so far, we're going to keep this really simple and use the example of an e-signature platform. So early on, the product is probably just a basic plan with a $10 to $20 a month offer for sending and signing documents. And that's enough to get initial users, but as that company grows, it needs to expand the offer stack. So what we would do is we would go by tiers. So a free tier could be very limited document signing to drive some adoption and show why the product is important and useful. Then we have a pro plan with more sends, templates, reminders, basic integrations. Then a team plan for agencies and large companies, multi-user accounts, permissions, shared templates. Then a business plan with advanced workflows, access to your API, integrating with a lot of popular CRMs, and then some add-ons like SMS verification, custom branding, advanced security, and then an enterprise plan, custom pricing, SLAs, compliance features, and onboarding support. So now instead of your, $10 a month users, you have a pathway. So free user, $15 a month, $49 a month, $199 a month, and then an enterprise contract. It's the same product at the core, except you have different levels of value, complexity, and types of customers who would be interested in each level. And finally, we're going to talk about the common mistakes with offer diversification. So first is adding too many offers too early. So you don't need 10 offers when you're just starting, you just need one that works, and then you can expand. Secondly, having no clear path between the offers. So if your offers don't connect logically, people are going to get stuck. Each should naturally lead into the next. So now this example is also going to work for the next mistake. So let's say an agency sells a $97 audit and then a $5,000 a month service, but there's nothing in between those. So people might buy the audit and they might potentially get value from it, but they're not ready for a $5,000 a month service yet, so they're just going to drop off. So if you instead add a $1,000 to $2,000 done with you offer, or some kind of short-term sprint, maybe a quick website or landing page build, or a quick ads campaign creation, then the path becomes audit, done with you sprint, and then done for you retainer. So now you have natural progression, and then people are going to actually move through the offer stack, right? Third is pricing gaps, similar to the last. If you go from $50 to $5,000 with nothing in between, you're just going to lose a ton of people. Now, 4 is overcomplicating delivery. So more offers should not mean a bunch of chaos, and you still need very clean systems behind them, right? So let's say an e-commerce brand adds a bunch of bundles, subscriptions, and upsells, but they don't update fulfillment or customer support. So then all of your orders are going to get mixed up, all the subscriptions are going to fail, your support tickets pile up, and the customers are going to have horrible experiences with your brand. 5 is not segmenting the audience. So different people should see different offers. Not all of your customers should get the same pitch, right? So someone new to your brand should download a free guide, and then after they download that free guide, they should see a low ticket or entry-level offer. Someone who has already bought your core product should see a higher level upgrade or a premium offer. And lastly is having offers that don't actually relate to each other. So everything should solve a connected problem, not just a bunch of random ideas to have more offers. So guys, you can absolutely grow a business selling just one thing, but if you want to increase your revenue without constantly chasing new leads, you need to start thinking in terms of offers and not just an offer. Because the more ways you can serve different people at different stages, the more opportunities you create for revenue.